What up, friends? We are back with another edition of The Drive presented by oddschecker.com. I'm Geoff Fienberg. With me again is Andy Lack. Andy, double winner yesterday for Andy. Johnny Vegas, he mentioned it last week. There's no way. I saw all the love. No one was going to talk me into it. I
Yeah,
didn't need my arm twisted on John Rahm, but
yeah.
winning on live 7-1 isn't quite what my friends Andy and others were able to hit Johnny Vegas at. So congrats. It was also nice. So Andy hit a double. I can't complain about a 7-1, but it's certainly not the tickets that Johnny Vegas is bringing home though. So shout out to everybody who saw it clearly, because there was that path. Like, it wasn't hard to see how Johnny Vegas would win. He won it. My thought on the 3M is someone I couldn't believe for an hour on Saturday, Pendrith was possessed by a 17 handicapper. That really annoyed
I
me.
had I had Pendy
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So that was quite annoying. But yeah, I love Johnny Vegas. Love to see it. And I don't know why, but it's so much more like endearing. Like if someone wins on live or something, like from out of the blue, kind of. Okay, that's nice. It's always very endearing. I can't exactly put my finger on it, but it was lovely to see Johnny, whose last win was in Canada. We move to Paris for the Olympics. I'm very
Mm.
excited for this one. It's quite an interesting field. I don't know what you'd make of it, but there's a handful of really great players here, Andy. I'm excited to talk about it. I'd also like to mention that I think maybe we're already here, but I think in absolutely no time the Olympics in men's golf will carry legacy weight.
Hmm.
I truly do believe that. I argued, not argued. I said to Pat Mayo today, the FedEx Cup's been around 17 years. Winning a gold medal is worth so much more. Not money. Because what that's like 20, 30, 40 million. I don't even know. It's crazy now. But in terms of resumes and legacies, I truly believe in the same way the FedEx Cup hasn't resonated with golf fan, let alone sports fan in 17 years. I believe by the time we're out of Australia in 2032, the gold medal will already be like a hardened resume, not a major, but more important than a FedEx Cup, maybe even of like as valuable or more valuable than a players championship. Maybe I'm crazy. What say you?
No, I agree with you. I think that, we context really matters in golf, right? I think that like if you think about the tournaments on the PGA Tour that we actually care about, these are all the tournaments that have, some semblance of history, right? Your Rivieras, your Torrey Pines, your Bay Hills, and anything that we don't have any history with. I think that's why we struggle to contextualize something like live. Um, I think everything with history is just going to become everything without history is going to need some time, right? And I think that, Xander's win is going to age well, because Xander is now a two-time major champion. Um, and then I think my guess, my hope is that we get another really big name winner
Yeah.
this year. I think that this golf course and this field is conducive to that. That's what I'm predicting. And then by the time that we roll into Riviera in 2028, right in my backyard, um, it's going to be quite the scene. So I'm fired up for this week. I got the dangerous game when you're swimming off the
Oh, it
week
counts
after
flush. Yeah, it counts
dangerous
flush.
game after
Andy's going
your
to throw bullet, take on
yeah
Scotty Scheffler and
yeah
Xander Schauffele with a flush account. Could
yeah
be. Yeah, yeah,
yeah
yeah. Football's around the
dangerous
corner,
game.
Andy.
Yep.
Football's around
No,
the
I know.
corner.
I know. I
Um,
almost am like, I'm gonna just keep the money in your account and bet all the NFL futures now, right? Like, just do that.
yeah, but hey, I'm like I kind of agree with everything you said, and here's the caveat, because I could be speaking hyperbolically, and sometimes I can do that. Is I also joked this morning, maybe I wouldn't be saying this if Rory Sabatini won gold instead of silver last time. Like, maybe it's as simple as that I'm not saying that, but I between now looking at it having been Rose and Xander, expecting another wonderful champion, I do believe that the winner of this event, it will carry more meaningful resume weight than a FedEx Cup. And I don't know what's that FedEx Cup. You could debate the players once every 4 years, though, does give that some like extra cachet. And to your point, Golf Mad USA, Riviera, and then like they adore their golf out in Australia. So we're going from like, places that were kind of tame on golf, and I don't want to knock anybody. And there were weird things with Zika and the first one, and then COVID in Tokyo, where it hasn't really had its full chance to be what it could be. Now Paris will open it with arms, but like I said, by the time we're out of 32, I'm telling you, this thing's gonna be after like no question, it will be the fifth major. I mean it. Now let's get to the odds board. Scotty Scheffler 4-1, Xander Schauffele 6-1, Rory McIlroy 9-1, John Rahm 11-1, Colin Morikawa 12-1, Ludwig 12-1. So we got 6 guys under 12-1. That includes 3 under 10 and 2 really 6 and under. There's 2 things I want to ask you here, Andy. Should we be more afraid of Xander than wow, I was going to call it Xander than Schauffele, Xander than Scheffler? And the second thing here is, as much as I just said about what I believe this medal means, the only person who won't get the full weight of it if he is to win it this week will be Rory McIlroy, because all we want him to do is win a major. And in some ways, as much as I'm hoping he wins, because it'd be great, I feel like he's the only player who can win that will go, yeah, but.
Yeah, I think there are 2 guys in the field where if they win this week, maybe it's worse. It's bad for their career. Tommy and
No.
Rory.
Tommy has nothing. He
Yeah.
doesn't even have a PGA win. We're no place as a Tommy Hardo to diminish a gold medal, Andy. I'm sorry.
We're not, but people will.
No. Okay, they'll still be able to, like, when some jobber wins the RSM, be able to say, oh, he's got more PGA wins than Tommy Fleetwood. Ha ha ha. Yes, you can't lose that until you actually win on the PGA, Tommy boy. But because we all want something good for Tommy, and he is very patriotic, he's always sort of shown that, him and Finno, I honestly don't think. I think it would be totally different. We'd almost treat Tommy like he won a major. Rory, unequivocally, yeah, but.
Yeah.
And he won't get the luxury until we're really a bit more in the future. Like everyone else who wins this thing will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To answer your first question on Scheffler or Xander, I'm way more afraid of Scheffler, but I don't know if I'm the best judge of character on this, because I kind of thought that Xander got his major and was going to. One of my coldest takes of the year was that after Xander won, because I'm pretty high on Patrick Cantlay generally, and I still am high on Cantlay. And he, it looked like this take was going to go well when Cantlay beat Xander at the U.S. Open. But I really thought that Xander was going to kind of recede back into like non-competitive T7s the rest of the way. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong about that. So, take me saying that I'm way more afraid of Scheffler than Xander, maybe with a grain of salt, because it's just too much. You can't win the Open and then win your second gold medal in your start right after the Open. It's somebody else's turn.
It's just
in my
too
opinion.
much, right?
It's just somebody else's turn. Yeah.
And it almost feels like Scotty, like on a roulette wheel, like he's coming up.
Yeah, it's Scotty's turn again. Yeah.
So I agree.
It's a phenomenal golf course for Scheffler. I just want to be clear about that. Like, my strongest PGA Tour comps are TPC Sawgrass and Muirfield Village, like these golf courses with a high miss fairway penalty. Scotty on paper is still a more accurate driver of the ball than Xander. So I'm way more afraid of Scotty than I am of Xander and Rory for that matter. But my first bet is at 12-1, Colin Morikawa.
My partner in crime, Pat Mayo, hadn't done it all year. He's all in on Scotty this week. Like,
interesting.
He's just like,
yeah,
no,
I get
I've
it.
seen it enough. Yeah, he did his research show on the weekend. He's like, nope, I'm actually gonna do it here. Gonna try to find the biggest number he can using that odds.
I did it one time this year at the U.S. Open, and didn't work out super
He
well
sort of
for him.
made the case, like when you compare his lines in elevated events and majors, like, yes, this field is strong and it's powerful at the top, but you could argue that it's actually a better value than some of those other ones. Colin Morikawa, if you've been betting Colin Morikawa, riding Colin Morikawa, thinking it's breaking through, you cannot jump off now. That is my advice to my friends. Or if you want to just jump on and try to call it, I'm thinking about being that guy, Andy, because
Me
this
too.
does seem like the perfect Colin Morikawa course. You've actually made the bet. So I'll let you, tell us why, but it's easy to see. I'll say that.
Right. I don't have a ton to add other than like he's playing unbelievably well. All aspects of his game are firing. He's chipping and putting the ball so great. He hasn't finished outside the top 20 in a golf tournament since prior to the Masters. So his floor, like I think he'll be there. He has elevated his floor so much based on, his ability now to chip and putt at above field average
Yeah.
levels, and he's coming off his best ball striking performance of the season last week at the Open Championship as well. I mean, accuracy off the tee and middle iron play, that's Colin's bread and butter. I just think it's time. Perfect golf course for him from a course fit standpoint. So Morikawa 12-1. And then, the question I have for you is there's like I'm kind of deciding between two things on my betting card, and
Well,
I'm
can I tell you,
hoping
I've
that
made one
maybe
bet.
is it
Well,
Rom?
I bet Rom on
Ah,
Friday as he posted that round on Live.
yeah,
Um, I bet him. I
yeah.
was able to get an
I
ace
have
to
such
one.
FOMO. I can't really fit them both
Yeah.
responsibly.
Um, yes, I have one other bet, but I've thought about maybe betting them both because as I sit here now, I do believe Colin Morikawa is just a totally fair number. If you just trust that he's a winner, I think it's a bet to make. Now, it's weird to say because he's won two majors. If you also want to be like, yeah, I just don't like, he's in a funk. I'm not trusting him to break through against these guys. I'm not really gonna argue on it. I'm on John Rahm. Is it the most ideal course fit? Probably not. But Valderrama, he led
No,
that.
I disagree. I think it's an amazing course fit.
I love that you say that because I'm worried
Yeah.
he might just be driving out of the rough. But the way that he has played very good positional golf through Valderrama, through the Open Championship, and I did watch a lot of golf, and I gotta say, Andy, I'm not like a course architecture hardo, so I can't speak to the true of it, but I'm a sucker for like a quirky parkland course. I really enjoyed that golf course that they played over the weekend in the UK on Live. And it did sort of demand that you get into the right spots and have to take on some challenges. So just the way John Rahm's playing, he's freed up from the win. I don't even care if Hatton three putted on purpose because he gave him the opportunity of a lifetime. Rahm did to Hatton to let him join Legion 13. On that note, Andy, Tyrrell Hatton, almost more so than Bryson DeChambeau, is like the biggest snub here because he certainly deserves to be here over Fitz. And in some weird way, he can make the case he might deserve to be here over Tommy. And if we wanted to talk about form and course fit, oh, I wish we could be having a conversation about Ty Hatton. But yeah, so those six players under 12-1, they're really squeezing the life out of this thing. If you like Ludwig, I'd argue maybe wait because then I haven't seen anyone pick him yet. So someone's going to have to drift here. Maybe Rory even drifts. I'm not too sure. Or Xander, as people are like, no, there's like too much. There's like enough is enough. There's no way he's doing that. So as we cross 20, Tommy Fleetwood 22-1, a past champion on this course. Always worth thinking about. Shane Lowry's number just getting crushed 24-1. Someone else can bet him. I am not. I will tell you, I am staring down the Joachim Neiman 30-1s.
Ooh.
And Tom Kim was as high as 40, now at 30-1. I really do like that as well. Victor Hovland 30-1. Use as an odds checker grid because I'm seeing Hovland as low as 17-1, as high as 30-1. Not a bet that I'm interested in. And I'm going to go to in front of 40, Andy, and I'm going to say Alex Noren. And let me speak here for a moment. I guess I'm long winded enough, but I get why people like Noren. I love Noren. I'm a huge Noren fan. He's playing well, but like, is he going to break through versus this field? And I get that he's won here before, Andy, but if you told me Jordan Spieth won somewhere 7 years ago when he was playing the best golf of his life, and we're here in 2024 talking about a tournament, am I supposed to care? Like, am I supposed to care? I don't know. When Noren won here, he was unconscious. Like, that was even the summer he was winning a ton at Wentworth. He almost beat Jason Day in a playoff at Torrey Pines. He was playing the best golf of his life. When I was looking at John Rahm on the other day, I saw Alex Noren 60. So the fact that we're here now, it's tournament week, and I'm using this odds checker grid to see he is 35 as the high water mark, 28 the low. I mean, you tell me what you think of this range, and then you can comment on my Noren rant, who I love. I love. Win. I wanted to bet him on a prop to podium. Yeah, like, you can't bet that as a prop. It'd pay nothing.
Yeah. I understand the Noren love. It's probably not a look for me at this number. Um he's playing some great golf at the moment, and I understand that he's been rock solid at La Golf Nationale in the past. I still have some concerns about his ball striking and how that will it's interesting that he's played so well at this golf course before, because he's actually really not a super reliable driver of the ball. Which you really need to be at La Golf Nationale. He's actually not like super accurate by any means. So I'm going to take the chances that my long-term data on Noren, the win at Le Golf National was more of an outlier, and maybe he'll regress back to his longer-term statistical baseline and maybe struggle off the tee. I think the question for me was, I have a lot of interest in Tommy. I could see it. Um, I'm still a little scarred. I went from potentially, not betting Tommy all season to making a terrible 25 to 1 bet on him to win the Open Championship, and then dipping my toes back in the exact next week after, he murdered me. But the other side of that, if I didn't bet Tommy, would be Straka and Hideki. I think the Hideki number is strong. He obviously contended at the Olympics in Tokyo. I think he's playing better than his results would suggest. I'm not super concerned about him not being good on links golf courses. I don't really think that that's his jam. This is an Americanized TPC Sawgrass-esque golf course that Hideki should be absolutely awesome at. He's got the Olympic success in the past, and so him and Straka, I think you can get Hideki. And is there like a 35-40 on
Yeah,
Hideki?
so I'm staring at this odds checker grid right now. I guess I literally just flashed in front of my eyes. There were 40s. I'm now seeing a 35, but maybe keep
Oof.
shopping for it. As
Yeah.
low as 22 to 1 over at Caesars, but DraftKings FanDuel with those 35s. I totally agree. And I love your Straka shout. I don't know if I'll be there with the bet, but in this game of like trying to, like, you're just trying to pick the winner. Like, I
Yeah.
believe in Sepp Sealing. He has shown and flashed abilities to go like blackout nuclear hot at what sort of courses? Courses that in some ways can mimic this one, like where
Yeah.
there is
High
trouble,
miss
but
fairway penalty
yeah,
courses. Yeah.
like Memphis, Honda, those sorts of courses.
Sawgrass
And the way
Memorial. He's
that he
played
is,
well at all
yeah,
those.
and we've seen his name sort of flash up with spike like rounds or big moments in some recent majors where I totally I totally trust Sep. In fact, I mentioned Pat had bet Scotty Scheffler, but in sort of our Noren conversation, he's like, how could you not take Sepp Straka for 20 points more than Alex Noren?
Yeah. Yeah.
In
No, I
some
think it's a I think it's a I think it's a fair assessment of it. I agree that I understand the course history on Noren, but it's not going to be for me this week.
and I love the Hideki. I mean, he seems like a lovely player. I mean, I don't trust Corey Connors enough to actually win, but boy, would we absolutely adore him bringing home a gold medal in Canada. That would be magical. I've seen some people, like, I could see it. Like, he does have that course fit. Do you trust him to beat the moment? The guy's only won on the Valero twice. So I was like, do you trust him to meet the moment? If you do, he should fit this place lovely. I don't know if you actually believe anyone like further down this board can win, Andy.
Mm.
If you do, feel free to shout them out. But How about guys that like in other sort of prop markets you might be looking to, maybe to Podium or something fun like that? Guido, Thorbjorn, maybe a Ben Ann, like guys who you don't actually trust them to win. But we've seen in this Olympic history that the podium is always sort of up for grabs. And Abe Answer seems like the total player I'd love to bet here. It's hard to totally gauge his form, but anyone down this board that you want to have a piece on, in some sort of prop market?
I like Answer for the reasons that you outlined. I think his accuracy off the tee will play well here. He won in Memphis. That's a similarly high miss fairway golf course. Um, I like Guido too. I think that'll be a popular one. He's obviously won at Le Golf National in the past, and he's just driving the ball great right now. He recently won the KLM Open on the Euro Tour. So, the guys that I would throw out there are really Answer and Guido are kind of my favorites down the board.
If you had to make a line on will USA win gold, like yes, no, what sort of number is that? Is
Huh.
that even money? Is that minus 150? Yes. Like how
No, it's got to be, it
even?
still has to be around even
You
money.
think like it wouldn't be plus money though, right? Like they have the
Ah,
two favorites at 4 and 6 to 1,
and Morikawa at 12 to 1.
and then I guess
Um,
Wyndham's a cherry on top here, but
yeah, I don't think he's going to play well this week. Yeah, I think it's still around plus 100. I think so.
so Andy is in on Morikawa.
Morikawa, it's either going to be Morikawa Fleetwood or Morikawa Straka Hideki. That's what I'm waiting
Yeah,
towards.
that's the math. You can buy two bodies for the price of Tommy, but I might just have to get there on Tommy because I'm such a sucker for it.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not in the end, I would love it. Tommy, Corey Connors, those are guys I don't know that I'll bet, but I'll
Yeah,
absolutely
I
love
like
if they
Connors a
if
lot
they can
too.
win. I have bet John Rahm. I have bet Tom Kim. So there's another body I'd like to make. Tommy would be too short, but you know me, I'll get over invested for Tommy any day. And it is probably a guy like Joachim Neiman, who now the board has just taken away those 30s. They've flashed some 28s. Maybe it's because I watched too much of John Rahm on Live on the weekend, Andy, but I love the way Neiman looks like he's hitting it like he was at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I think he could handle these POA bent greens as long as he avoids huge numbers.
Yeah. 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 Sounds
Okay.
good, man. A big F, but I've done the Neiman thing in these big time events
Yeah,
quite a
it's
bit.
true. It's hard, but maybe there's like some middle ground here with what this
Sure.
actually is. He might not feel it's like a major, but you're
Yeah.
right, and you're right. Other guys will put different pressure on themselves, right?
Hmm.
Like there's different guys might put so much pressure on. Other guys might be like, I don't know, this doesn't mean anything. We're not even getting paid, like
Yeah.
literally, right? So
Yeah.
I
I
guess,
mean, I watched him up close win Riviera by 5. So he has it in him. He just hasn't been able to
and I
channel
don't.
it. Yeah.
And I mean, I this is a joke. No one yell at me, but hey, with these live guys, I've bet John Rahm, and I just said I might bet Neiman. Like, I don't know, they don't play for free. Like maybe that's like not going to vibe with them at all.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Andy, I'm Geoff. This was fun chatting again. Andy off his big Johnny Vegas, Johnny Rahm 2-pack. Way to go, Andy. We'll be back with the last leg before the final event before the FedEx Cup, which is always a fun one over at the Wyndham Fun Course. Wide open odds board. Can't wait to chat next week with Andy as we'll break that down as golf season winds down. We're out.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.